back in the 90s, cracked the AOL code, texting turned gold, now the stories unfold. From dial-up dreams to LinkedIn kings, he taught the world how to build through strings. It's the Max method, no guessing, just growth. 4 steps deep, he's coached them both. Top earners, big burners, trainers and pros. Max lit the fire, now everyone knows. Started with a spark, now the blueprint's live. Thousands trained and they multiply. From Facebook chats to LinkedIn leads, he plants the seeds, then watches them succeed. Mentor to coach is the guide for the great. Author, speaker, shaping fate. You don't just follow Max, you duplicate. That's how legends elevate. It's the Max method, built to last. Social selling, scaling fast. Call him the father, the go-to name. Max Steingart, he changed the game.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, I guess it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our 1 o'clock on Friday training. And we're starting the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend. It's always been one of my personal favorite weekends. And I got to tell you, I'm excited for all of you, especially the people that are using LinkedIn or Facebook. Now, I have been working with some of my coaching students, and we've come up with an interesting tactic, an interesting strategy that is speeding up the process. Let me come over here. Now, for those of you, and the process works on Facebook, the process works on LinkedIn. And what I started to do, I'm working with Eric, who's one of my coaching students, just came back from his company convention. Before he left, we made some changes to the sequence of the messages that he was reaching out to connect with people with. And we pop up here. So we came up with a new way, a new project launch script. And we, frankly, this has worked unbelievably well. So we did this yesterday. And so already he's got 2 people here that want the details. 3 people who want to know what the difference between MLM is. And we have 1 person that's ready to set up a time to look. So we're talking about 2, 3, 4 people. And we sent it to 6. 6 people, and 4 people are ready to talk. It's a holiday weekend. People are going to be celebrating. People are going to be doing other things. But the beautiful thing is that you can line up all kinds of activity, all kinds of appointments next week. You still have time to reconnect with people, close them. All right? So I'm excited about this, and you all should be excited about it too. And for this reason, I've agreed to, I'll be conducting an 11 o'clock Ask Max session tomorrow. We will have our mastermind session at 1. And we have been sending out notices, we're in the process of upgrading a number of things. Customer service is being revamped. We're adding a chat bot that will talk back to you. We're getting reports that some people, when they go into their back office, the programs that they purchase aren't there. We're aware of it, and that's become a tagging issue. So if you have that issue, you have that problem, please write to support@maxsteingart.com, and we'll get you rehooked up. So, luck is when preparation and opportunity meet. And you are all sitting on a gold mine. LinkedIn has made some significant changes. They're making them all the time. You know, it's almost like I feel like I should start out every training with, well, this is what LinkedIn has done. This is what Facebook has done. So let's go back, let's go take a look. And let me bring up Linda. Hey, good afternoon, Linda.
Good afternoon, Max.
So what's going on?
Well, needed your advice on one person that was in India that I was working with. And I'm just starting, so I was just excited to be able to send and receive and have somebody accept, etc. We've had 3 conversations back and forth, and he is looking for a position. Excellent, huge, beautiful resume. He has put me in with, at last count, him and 6 other people who also are looking for positions in India. And I don't know how to respond.
All right. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna log out of my account. And now yours is just your name, right?
I think it's my email.
Yeah,
It's
what's your
one of
email?
my emails. It's REIKI.
It should
F,
come. Here we go.
yeah.
It's not, check your app to, they sent you a note that
Okay, hold on.
somebody's trying to get in.
Okay, it didn't come in on, must be on email.
says it sent a notification to whatever you were signed in with.
I was on my computer. There is something asked me to verify my device. Let's
Just
see.
say yes.
But it doesn't give me a choice.
Try clicking on it. Okay, so we go to plan B.
Okay.
It'll send you a,
Got it. 351288.
351
88.
Okay, so let's just take a quick peek. All right, we're growing. Let's go over to the messaging. Okay, so who are you talking to?
The BADRINAR, him. Yes. But the
Okay.
group he has me in is the one right above it.
Okay, well, let's look at him first. Transforming projects into performance. Okay, so your company does business in India?
It will be.
Okay. When are they gonna start?
Could be in as little as 2 weeks.
Okay, well, listen, I've got a phenomenal strategy and a script that I'll send to you and John for people in countries where you're gonna open. Now, first, the open to work frame either means he's looking for work or he's working and he's looking for customers, looking for business. So my initial, just looking at this, would be he's looking for work. Let's come down. We get a little hint here. All right. So he's currently exploring opportunities to partner. So I'm reading this, and it appears that he's looking for business. See, let's connect if you're looking for a project management leader. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now, one of the things you want to pay attention to, you see how the words here are structured?
Yes.
Okay. When you copy these, you're copying them off a document. Come over here. All right. Now, paste it in here. Now, if we send it this way, this is the way it's delivered.
Right.
Okay. So, what you have to do is let's just take this. Pop it in there. Now it looks, see, now here's the thing. Well, you had his name, so that it's a long name, but that may have set it off.
I did not see it look that way when I pasted it in there. That's interesting.
Right. Well, you wouldn't see it.
Okay.
Okay.
But he did.
Right. So you see this is the outer edge. All right.
Yes.
So let's click this in again. Okay. I think this is several times that. All right. So, this is kind of something that you have to play with. So why don't you, moving forward, take these messages, send them to me, copy them, send them to me. We'll make sure between the two of us that they come out the way we want them.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's look at him. To send the first message. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm looking at us. Let's go back over to here. Okay. So he's been working for them since his temporary retirement. Okay. Okay. So you read his profile, you'd think he's looking for work. But now he's telling you, active since the last 2 years after my temporary retirement. It's working fine for me. Okay, now, number one, you're asking him 3 questions. What did you do that you had enjoyed the most? Have you ever thought of, now that's a good question because he's got to get it open-ended questions, beginning with the words who, what, when, where, how, and why. What did you do? It's a question he's gonna give you an answer. Have you ever thought of doing anything else? It can be answered with a yes or a no. Is Lincoln giving you the exposure you desire? Again, yes or no. So let's see how he answered you. So he says, yes, I'm a retired man. Okay. All right. So he says here, I'm on LinkedIn since for 14 years. Now he says here, let's go back to where his retirement. He says he retired, so he retired for 2 years. Why? Why'd you retire? And a nice way to answer the subject, bring it up, is to, pay him a half-handed compliment. You don't look old enough to retire. Why did you retire? People love talking about themselves. Now, at the same time that you're talking to people, you want to be thinking in the back of your mind, where's the potential? What does this person do? What has he done that he would appreciate network marketing? Maybe he's done network marketing. See, whether it's apparent that they've been in network marketing or not, you could always say many of the professionals that I work with in project management have all had side projects to generate extra income working with a network marketing company. Which companies have you worked with? And you can get right to it. He comes back and he says, well, I don't know anything about network marketing. Then we have to basically just say, when I use the term network marketing, I'm referring to companies like Amway, Avon, Mary Kay, Nu Skin. Have you ever worked with any companies like that? That's the way your conversations are going to go with most people. But along the way, looking at his profile, looking at what he's done, project management, there's some potential. You look at the kind of projects he's done, and has he so he's managed end-to-end science projects. Customer service, well, teamwork, training. Yeah, so he's got some of the things that he talks about here would give him the skills, trained and mentored new teams. Okay. So you look and you see things, teamwork. So it's not a bad prospect. Teamwork, training. So it's working fine for me. Now, all right. So let's look at these. What did you like? What did you do that you enjoyed the most? That's the question probably you would have wanted to ask. Have you ever thought about doing anything else? That would fall under the category of a manipulative question. In other words, we're talking about one thing. Now we're looking to change the subject. I said, might be looking. So have you ever thought about doing something else? Is a great question to ask after they come back and they complain that they're having a hard time getting a job. Then it's, a question to, a helpful question. Is LinkedIn giving you the exposure that you desire? That's a yes or no. What are you hoping to accomplish by being on LinkedIn? What you do is you ask a question, just come back and restate it in your own mind yourself. And if you can answer the question with a yes or no, then it's not an open-ended question. And here's the other thing. It's not about you. So working fine for me. Thanks. You want to make people curious. What you want to do is you want to get them to come back and ask you. So Linda, what do you do? Well, you're offering up the information, ahead of time. And so now in the last decade of my work, okay. So here, a good question here, find a job. What do you like to do? Okay. Now on here, so I assume you know. That's really a great tip to give somebody to demonstrate your LinkedIn expertise. But you want to ask questions. Let me just say that you kind of picked out and that there's potential. What you want to know is, what does the guy like to do? He's retired. He told you up here. Now in the last decade of my work career, if I find a job and I'll retire permanently. So what kind of job are you looking for? Take a look at their last answer. the more you do this, the easier it's gonna be. Line by line. And see if we could turn that whole question around. Now in the last decade of my work, why the last decade? Why the last decade? Isn't it possible that you could work longer? Why is it the last decade? How did you come up with the idea that this is your last decade? Who, what, when, why, when? When in the last decade are you looking to retire? How? How did you come up with the notion? So you could just take their words, and flip it around. But as long as I assume you know, never assume. You are the expert. And frankly, you're you're offering them to a solution to something. I mean, I understand why you're doing it. You're just trying to keep the conversation going. But what you're suggesting to him, how does that help him? So let's move it. Okay, so he's thanks for the tip. Yeah, I'm aware. Now, he's in India. Your business is moving to India. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to send him a little GIF, a little moving image.
And also, since that came in, he's put me into that group of several other people.
Okay. So let's see, we'll do this one. Focus on where you want to go, not where you are. Now, what you wanted to do here is send on the image. When I send the images out with the scripts, I just sent this to a good friend, thought you'd appreciate it. I routinely send motivational messages like these to my friends on LinkedIn. I hope you enjoy them. Present that. Pop that in there. And then we want to end it with a question. So let's come back up here. He says, I'm looking out seriously for jobs. Let's just take that one sentence. I'm looking out seriously for jobs. Who, what, when, where, how, and what. What kind of jobs are you looking for? How long have you been looking? And you pick the best ones. So in this case, how long have you been looking? Did he start looking 2 weeks ago? How long have you been looking for work? Now, depending on the answer, the longer he's been looking for work, the more open he would be to look at something else. All right. So you're going to find there's going to be a pattern to all of these. Now, he added you to a group chat.
Yeah.
Who's down here?
Yes.
You know, when I first started to network on a social network, it was America Online. And back then, you could talk to people individually if you knew who they were. Or the only form of groups they had back then were chat rooms. So chat rooms had specific subject, just like today, groups have specific subjects. And so depending upon, you always knew by the name of the group, who was there. Like there'd be dentists online, nurses online, teachers online. And quite often, you'd go into a chat room, nurses online, and half the chat room was filled with men who wanted to meet nurses online. So I created a chat room called the Millionaire's Lounge. And it was probably one of the most popular chat rooms on AOL. You can only, initially, you can only put 40 people in a chat room. That chat room was always filled. And the thing is, you never wanted to talk to people in the chat room. He put you in a group where people are sharing things. If you wanted to talk to people, don't do it in a group. look the person up, send them a connection request, talk to people privately. People are more open to you if it's one-on-one conversation. But we've come a long way. And the interesting thing is, because you didn't have pictures, you didn't have much information about people. So you judged people by their screen name, and what little information you had. So you could go over here. You hit groups. So there's 40,000 groups. And you could pick a subject. You got a wellness and health marketing group. There's 19,000 people in it. You come back. Health groups. Well, wait a minute. You got 65,000 health groups. What's the difference in numbers? Can't even begin to tell you. So, health and medical physicians, doctors, dentists, nurses. So you got 196,000 people in this group. Occupation health and safety network, 319,000. But here's the difference. You wanted to find a dentist or a doctor, or let's say just say a nurse. Well, there's 196,000 people in this. A certain percentage of them are going to be nurses. But you can go up here. Let's look for nurses. So now, whoops, now we have nurse groups. You got 81,000 nurse groups, or 81,000. There's 81,000 people in a nursing group. The Nurse Entrepreneurs Network, 41,000. But not all the nurses on LinkedIn are going to be in groups. Now, certainly this becomes a little bit of a qualifier. Here's the Nurse Entrepreneur Network, 41,000. You join. Let's check it out more. So you got 41,000. And some of them let you join. And now once you become a member, you have access to all the people. So you join with, okay, you'll have access to those people. But, I mean, think about it. We could just as easily move an opportunity. Nurse. People. This is the part that really bothers me because they used to give us the number here. And now we would have to so there's 16,000 nurses that are looking for an opportunity. That's the way it works. Searching on an individual basis correctly is the way to do it. Right now, I will be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock. We'll jump in and we'll help all of you close some sales before the end of the month. Until next time,